Welcome everybody to Cisco Champion Radio, and we are live from Cisco Live Amsterdam. We're ready to talk about interesting stuff. But before we begin, we have to make the necessary introductions. What's your name again, Michael?
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a senior network engineer at the Dutch Air Traffic Control and, of course, Dutch-based for now.
What about you, Nathan?
I'm Nathan Litz with Worldwide Technology. I work as a technical solutions architect. I'm focused on data center networking in our global pre-sales organization.
My name is David Peñalosa, and I work as a solutions architect for Novartis.
Fantastic, and thank you. What a great group. I'm Balaji Venkatraman, and the VP Product Management for Cisco Cloud Control. And so we are here today, and as we are talking about to IT professionals about the evolution of IT, gentlemen, what are some major challenges that you face in your day-to-day job as you manage the infrastructure?
Silos.
Too many things to touch.
Too many things.
Too many tools.
Silos.
Yes, silos, exactly.
Access center, catalyst center, then you got something with ASRs. There is no center.
Yeah.
You got all these separate ivory towers from which anybody wants to actually step off.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Some platforms are SaaS-based, some are on-prem, some are a hybrid of the both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else?
My God, the integration is sometimes a nightmare.
Integration is a nightmare. Yeah.
I think visibility is a big topic in terms of from what I focus on in the data center, traffic visibility, whether that is between sites, so independent, VXLAN, VPN sites from a data center standpoint, or if we want to view traffic between the data center and the campus or a branch, especially with the new unified edge, how we see compute and data out there in the world and being able to visualize its communication back to the central hub, right? The on-prem data center.
Yeah. And you, Mike?
Yeah, I agree. Visibility is like one of the things we can really get a little bit more AI stuff integrated into.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if AI can figure out in logs and see all stuff going wrong or not functioning according to specifications, that we can actually use this technology to make all our lives a little bit
Why?
Philip,
Do I
you got
have a
some-
solution for you?
I know. You could see it in his eyes.
Just waiting to tell us.
Waiting. So, we have heard this challenge from our customers and partners for several years now. And so one of the fundamental challenges that we are addressing with Cisco Cloud Control, which is an AI native platform that Cisco is building, is to really bring together the networking domain, the data center, security, collab, and observability, that is both Thousand Eyes and Splunk together, into a single platform where you can log into this one portal. Using Cisco Unified Identity, we will stitch these tenants in the back end so that the user is authenticated once with a robust role-based access control RBAC. And once you're there in this portal, then you can go into a campus administrator can look at Meraki, and through Meraki Catalyst Center. And so, Michael, you mentioned Catalyst Center and cloud. There is already an integration underway between Catalyst Center and Meraki.
Nice.
And so when Cloud Control integrates into Meraki, we give you that visibility both for on-prem and cloud. Similarly, on the data center side, Nathan, you want visibility into how that edge device connects back into the data center, or data center fabric and BGP EVPN fabric connects to, let's say, VXLAN fabric on the campus side. And so by bringing Nexus, Intersite, ACI, and Hyperfabric together into Cloud Control, there is a convergence underway called Nexus One. Jeetu, who's our president and chief product officer, talked about it in the keynote on Tuesday. And so we are bringing together convergence of those solutions into a single unified architecture that then interconnects into Cloud Control. And similarly with Thousand Eyes and Splunk and Control Hub for Collab, with security, we have already done some integration with Security Cloud Control. And so whether it is FMC, firewall management, AI defense, multi-cloud defense, secure access for zero trust, all that is already integrated into Cisco Cloud Control, and that then integrates into Cloud Control. And the fundamental problem that we are trying to solve here is, how do we address this fragmentation of IT resources, IT management solutions? How do we help you as our customer, as our partner? When you're managing your infrastructure, you have information in your network silo, in your data center silo, in your security silo. How can we bring all that together in a single cloud control platform? That platform allows you single sign-on capability, and then you all mentioned visibility. And so as one of the fundamental capabilities of cloud control, we are building a global inventory of devices, of links, of users, of managed and unmanaged endpoints, of Nexus switches and Catalyst switches onto this global inventory and enrich that inventory with information about PCerts, about the device life cycle, about the support life cycle. How do you remediate a problem? So a global inventory, a global topology to look and see how traffic will flow. Security. So that is one of the most fundamental things that we as cloud control will deliver in this capability. And then I have a couple other things, but does that make sense to you? Does that resonate?
So you're building your own Babel tower that speaks all the languages and everybody connects to it, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm pondering is then, it is going to be then the overarching element to which all the other controllers, dashboards, or aggregation, well, we can call it controllers anyway, would be then pushing the data upwards, which means that then you would have this list of offerings. So it's going to look as in logging into some other cloud vendor, the well-known ones, and then you have all these services available to you, and you just drag and put things together, like a marketplace.
That's exactly right. Well, it's not quite a marketplace, but I think what you said was very interesting. Cloud control, if you take a look at Catalyst Center or Meraki or the data center solutions, security solutions, these are purpose-built controllers or management solutions for those domains.
Yep.
And so the idea is not to replace those controllers. If we attempted to go do that, that'll be a 10-year journey for us. And that is not the right approach. You've told us several times as customers and partners, don't rebuild what already exists. Don't take away the tools that I'm familiar with. Don't make me change my processes, IT processes. And so those controllers remain. What I'm solving with cloud control, what we are solving with cloud control is this unification at a management plane layer so that you don't have to deal with these silos, you don't have to deal with this fragmentation of your IT assets. You go to a single place, you log in, you can see all the tenants and all the resources that you have access to. You get the visibility. But when you want to go manage, when you want to go change the configuration on a Catalyst router, when you're going to change a policy on Cisco Secure Access, when you want to go move a workload from one data center to another data center, Nathan, you already have processes built into Catalyst or Secure Access or a Nexus ACI, Nexus dashboard. And so we are not going to take away that capability. The controllers remain. The controllers feed information. We give you that visibility, and then use the controller to effect change on the network.
I love that approach. I think, we all have heard a common complaint might be Cisco has too many controllers. And I like to turn that kind of on its head a little bit. And I like that approach because we have, again, I focus on data center. We have, generally speaking, ACI, NXOS, managed by Nexus Dashboard, we have Hyperfabric. Each of those architectures is specific with respect to use case.
Yeah.
And as such, has a specific controller that does it and it alone in the best way that it can. as opposed to one controller that does a lot of things okay. I love the specific use case approach, and having something like Nexus One as the initiative from a connectivity perspective, and then Cloud Control to kind of sit on top from a management standpoint, I think is great. I think it's a great approach, and we're at this stage. We all talk about AI on a daily basis, right? There's obviously stages of maturity with respect to AI. And I think the stage that we're in now is we had LLMs and interaction with LLM, basic chat GPT-like things. And then we had the creation of agents. We see these every day. We're at a stage now where agents have matured, that we can now truly leverage A2A, agent-to-agent communication. And it's that level of maturity that has allowed something like Cloud Control to really come to the market, to be able to tie in these various seemingly isolated platforms previously, but now tie them all together in one management platform. I think it's a great approach.
Absolutely. And so that talks to the second value proposition of Cloud Control, which is this platform really is designed to deliver agentic ops.
Yeah.
Right? So everything that you said about the maturity of the agents. So one capability that we have in Cloud Control is AI Assistant. Mm-hmm. And so we are going to look at federating these AI assistants. Every solution has an AI assistant for that particular solution's documentation or skills. But we're going to federate these different AI assistants into Cloud Control. And then the next step evolution is really to look at AI Canvas. And AI Canvas now really deploys agents to unleash the power of AI, the speed of AI, the vast intelligence that we have brought together with deep network model. 30 years of CCI. I see you are wearing a CCIE t-shirt. And so, 30 years of this knowledge, we built this deep network model that then drives the intelligence layer. We gather telemetry, like we talked about, consolidation. So we gather telemetry, we have this intelligence layer, and so now Canvas has access to all this context because now we have stitched these different domains together.
And the tech support is part of the deep model as well, which is huge.
So it means that through the agent, I can say, so is Alice watching non-compliant material?
Exactly.
That's it. I can, through AI assistant.
Campus, in the data center, wherever it may be.
Oh my God, Alice, you're doomed.
So through AI assistant, you can ask, where is a device? Where is a link? Where is a user? Where is an IP address? It's a global search, and then potentially remediate. Right? So you unleash the power of agents in this agentic ops platform to not just answer the prescriptive questions that the domain controllers were able to do, but now, with Canvas, you can ask questions that you could not have asked before across domains.
Correlate.
You could correlate, right? It's not just causation now. You can correlate and ask questions and then ask the agents to remediate.
It's a great value prop. From a kind of a maybe a NOC standpoint, Network Operations Center, I think a common call is such and such application is being slow to access. Instead of now having the ability to have that cross-domain visibility, instead of maybe troubleshooting the application, are most of the complaints of slowness coming from one other location?
Yeah.
So if we have the ability, so the applications in the data center, but we have Meraki at the branches, is only one branch or a particular region having access? We can ask that question now and take a more focused approach, I think, to troubleshooting. And again, mean time to innocence is always so key in a troubleshooting perspective. So if we can focus our energy on a specific location, as an example, and having the ability to look at those cross-domain statistics and observability through something like Canvas and Cloud Control is incredibly valuable.
I see Michael raising his eyebrow. Probably he's thinking about this location that might be moving at 700 kilometers per hour.
Yeah,
or
the little
30,000 feet.
The little AI ghost popped up in my mind. So if you just heard Nathan's story, like, wouldn't AI be able to help? Like, don't dig into data, don't look at telemetry. Just like the problem is there, and you need to fix that device.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is
like not analyze where you can do the troubleshooting. Let's just put off the CCIE hat and let the AI figure out.
That's exactly. I think of this as multiple CCIEs in a box, right? You not only have CCIE for networking, but
That will be a socially awkward AI.
But CCIE in a box, and you unleash the power of Canvas. And now, we tend to think of agents as something that works for us. But with the evolution of A2A and agentic ops, it becomes a team member. The agent is working on our behalf with guardrails, with guidance. The responsibility always lies with that human being, especially in a mission-critical operation like, Michael, what you're running here, right, in air traffic control. But the accountability is always there. The guardrails are there. But think of this agent. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a
like
junior or a
George.
meteor. It's George.
It's like George.
And so it goes and performs those investigation, comes back.
Yeah, and already did the initial analysis.
That's right. And troubleshooting steps gives you a root cause analysis, mean time to innocence, and then you can say, okay, go execute that action. And if you repeatedly approve a recommendation from that agent, then the agent can learn that.
True.
And you can build confidence that if the agent makes a recommendation, that recommendation is accepted by the human, and then you can slowly go to automation, right? One of the biggest barriers to AI adoption is trust. How do you build that trust? Trust can also be learned.
So talk about trust. What happens when you don't approve such solution or figured out that it's probably cause A, but it's actually, cause B, because CCIE.
Exactly. So, and
that's the interesting, when AI actually knows it's doing something wrong, how will it then learn?
That's right.
You need to educate it what the actual root cause then is in all manual, but can you actually add that intelligence back into the product?
Yes. So as part of our AI canvas, we show you the inference engine, the inference steps, so that you can say, this agent performed these actions, interacted with this other agent in the data center or in the IoT space. So you see that inference steps, and where you believe that a wrong conclusion was reached or you have insufficient data, either the agent will stop by itself or you can go and retrain that agent with prescriptive information. And so not just LLM, like you mentioned, Nathan, but also SLMs, right? Small language models, very domain specific. So you can train that, and that way then you can tune the behavior of that agent over time, again within that guardrail. And the beauty of it is, you mentioned the TAC integration.
Yeah.
Right? As we close a ticket, let's say you're in cloud control, you see an issue, you create an TAC ticket. You attach all the log files. One of the classic, Cisco sees about 1.2 million TAC tickets, and every time we say, give me this log file, give me that log file, and some of the log files are ephemeral. So attach those log files in real time, pass that information. That's one use case. But now, when you close a ticket and the TAC engineer or those tier 3 engineers put in some information, we can learn that. And that is how we prevent hallucinations. That's how we train the agent to do the right things the next time around. So there's an evolution here.
Please
go.
I was going to say, I love the flexibility with, one, to some extent, kind of almost exposing in that iterative step component, exposing to some extent almost the neural net. Yeah. And you can see that pivot point where maybe an incorrect or inaccurate conclusion was drawn. I love the flexibility of being able, to your point, retrain that. Yeah. So in the future, because at the end of the day, everyone's environment, they are very similar, but there's differences. And those differences make, that's where all the value is, right? So being able to tweak it to your situation or mine makes the product that much more valuable to all three and not a ubiquitous experience across everything. I think that's a great idea.
You have to focus on the specific variables that make your environment unique.
Exactly.
And the correction method tell me that I can just, the ticket was sort of, whoosh, and then just fix it.
No, and I love the idea that you made, or the kind of the analogy of it's they don't work for us. It's a team member.
It's a team member.
The way I've always kind of visualized it, I assume we're all sci-fi fans to some extent here. I picture, the end of Aliens, the second one, right? And Ripley's in the big yellow exoskeleton suit, right? That's the AI agent. She's driving it, but that suit makes her stronger, more agile. It's giving her the ability to kill that alien faster and more efficiently, but she's still in control of it, and I like that. It's an augmentation to our all abilities.
I got a slightly different view of AI. Something has to do with Star Wars and the Empire.
I was thinking actually Star Trek, and there is a character called Data.
Oh, of course.
So it's more or less like this, but
Or maybe it's called Q.
If you're on sci-fi,
anything.
and as a product manager, let me say, I think of Batman here.
Okay.
And with great power comes great responsibility. Oh. Right? And so, as you're thinking about how agents can do work, I put my other hat on. And as a vendor, as Cisco, we've taken an incredible amount of care to make sure that we are training these agents carefully. We are exposing the inference engine. We don't presume to say we know everything out of the bat, right? And that's also why we tend to think of cloud control as a platform. We are not replacing the prescriptive workflows that the controller knows how to do. And we have done that for 30 years. We are going to build on it. We are going to learn from it. We are going to learn from how you use the tool to make the agents better, make the workflows more adaptive, and so that we can get to a better resolution, a better time to resolution. Right? And so think of this as consolidation, think of this as agentic ops, think of this as also a platform effect. The next product that we have to bring on, the next acquisition that Cisco makes, our customers, our partners don't have to learn the information architecture, don't have to learn the navigation, don't have to figure out the new username password. Right? We will integrate that into cloud control.
So we have cross-launching and this type of stuff.
That's right. It's not simply a cross-launch. Mm-hmm. These, if you look at, and I'm happy to do a demo for you later in the show floor, but you will experience a Meraki or a security cloud control or a Nexus One in the context of cloud control. So it's not just cross-launch and we forget, we maintain context. Mm-hmm. And maintaining that context is critical for the agents to work. For agentic ops, you need that context. That context gives you the confidence to interact between agents.
I want to come back to what you mentioned earlier about TAC, because this is a huge use case, given the number of TAC cases we always end up raising. So could we understand that in the future then, having these multi-domain and massive context and an awareness of what's happening, be able to just push a TAC ticket and provide all this context and simply update it by, I wouldn't say a couple of clicks, but you have all this information available? Because what happens a lot is, so explain what the problem is. You go explain what the problem is. Okay, I didn't read the ticket, but we can jump on a call and we can talk about it again. See, because it happens.
Yeah.
So then will we be in the situation, in the future in which we can just push a couple of buttons and there you go, your TAC case is there, and you have at least a good deal of the troubleshooting already done, the investigation, or these are the logs that we've got at the moment that you want to open the case.
I would love to
wonderful.
I would love to see that, a connected TAC engine built into the platform. I think that'd be great.
Like Sherlock Holmes?
I
love that bot too.
So that is in our vision.
Wonderful.
So you can not only create a TAC case, but attach all the context. Step one. Step two, then if we have all the context, why can't we have Canvas look at all that context and suggest a remediation? Do the troubleshooting on your behalf. okay, it does that. Then give me the insight, step 3. Don't tell me there's a problem here or a problem there. Correlate that and tell me how she should remediate it. Okay, I need a third person to join the call, a subject matter expert. Canvas by design is a multiplayer capability. So I can invite you into a Canvas board that I've already created. Now I don't create a WebEx. I don't set up a Zoom call. I don't say, okay, can you join this at 10 o'clock? Oh, 10 o'clock. We don't go back and forth on calendars. I invite you. You're joining live in this troubleshooting environment, supported by Canvas. You provide the context. Canvas learns from it, remediates it, and then hopefully we push it. So that is one. But we can also do the opposite. You can come in here and you can say, hey, I know I had a ServiceNow ticket, and I have a list of 10 tag cases. Here is a list of my tag cases. Tell me what that status is. Tell me what is resolved. Tell me what is pending on who. Where do I have a root cause analysis done already? Right? Is there something that I can do proactive to avoid this particular issue in future? Right? So these are all use cases that we are thinking about and building.
Do you expect, intentionally so, a reduction in tag cases
Yes.
in the future?
Yes.
Makes me think about RADKit, but with all
Yeah.
together, see?
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you don't need to use it anymore.
So RADKit again was integrated into Catalyst Center. When I ran the Catalyst Center product team, we used RADKit to do the pre-upgrade check, do the upgrade, do the post-upgrade check, right? And make sure that we leave the system in a stable state. So you take RADKit, think of RADKit on steroid now with Canvas. Absolutely, that's, I'm so happy that you brought up RADKit, and not a lot of shows that you're a CCIE. Not a lot of engineers know that, but it's just amazing. So one other thing, Nathan, I know that in Cisco Live Amsterdam, we are announcing beta of Cloud Control.
Yes.
And I know you're in WWT, and your team was part of our Alpha design partner.
We were.
Wait.
Any feedback?
He's going to wear the alpha.
Oh, there you go. You need that.
Now he's got the alpha hat. Go ahead.
I would say first and foremost, having that opportunity was special. It really was. Having the ability to meet with you all ahead of even having the software. Thank you. I love this. Was so cool to learn about this, and then to immediately have alpha access, put hands on keyboard. I thought it was a great opportunity for us. I know one of my favorite pieces of it, and it might be small, it might not be the shiniest feature of it, but the global inventory.
Yeah.
You know, with the exception of roughly the last year or so, my whole career has been in network operations, and managing inventory is tough, especially at the end of the year when it's SmartNet renewal time.
Licensing.
The licensing, the maintenance contract.
Yes.
We all need it. It's there for a reason, but it can be sometimes a pain to go through and get everything together. And having a platform now where we can look at our Catalyst and our Nexus and all of that Meraki gear under one place and just say, oh, export. And now I have a global inventory view of everything that my team and sister teams would be managing. It is so valuable to, again, it might not be the shiniest feature, but the value, I think, to real world, hands-on keyboard network operators, it's fantastic.
I think this is huge, because a couple of weeks ago I was discussing with my SE, and then he asks, so I have a list of devices here, and we have to do all the counts with the licenses. I see 8,000 something. He gives me some number, and then wait a second, and then I have to check my inventory, but I don't see the same number. Something is a bit off, and then we had this endless scrolling in Excel spreadsheets that, well, you can see I don't have hair anymore, but see, there are reasons.
Yeah, I'll help you out.
Oh, thank you very much. Still wonderful haircut.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Fantastic. No, there are a couple other things that I want to share, but given that we are beta, we plan to go controlled availability in Cisco Live US in June. And I want to see if we can get together in Cisco Live US.
Let's do it.
For part 2 of this segment.
I'm down.
And we'll talk about licensing. We'll talk about other capabilities that we have up our sleeve. But thank you. Really appreciate these insights. And we are still recruiting customers for our beta program design partner. Nathan is already there, but there you go. David, Michael, right? Need you guys to help us build the right solution for our customers.
So in a couple months from now, we'll have a second part to talk about all the other
We will
stages
come back.
we're putting in it.
We'll come back and give an update on the evolution of Cisco Cloud Control.
Are you going to bring your own hat, or should I bring one for you so that
Maybe we can swap. Maybe
that would be wonderful.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us at the Cisco Champion Radio program. And we hope to see you again on the second part of it at Cisco Live US. Thank you.
Thanks.